What's going on, guys? Carmine here, and welcome to my Season 7 Episode 1 Q&A. If you're new here, I like to do one of these every episode to try and answer some of your questions and give my thoughts on certain issues that you guys have or had with an episode. As always, be sure to leave your thoughts below, and I may discuss it in a future video or on the Game of Thrones podcast. You're also free to message me on Facebook or Twitter if that suits you. Also, before we begin, I just want to correct a couple of things. So in my Episode 1 review, I said that it was less than 48 to 72 hours since the Season 6 finale, but I was wrong. Apparently Walder Frey / Arya, from what some of you say, indicates that it's been a week or two, and that is my fault. Let me correct myself there. But there is a reason I messed up, and it's because I started the premiere late. My internet provider really fucked me in the ass, and I was 20 minutes out of sync with you guys during the whole thing. A couple of you commented about it on Twitter when I was live tweeting, so yeah, sorry about that. But with that out of the way, let's get to it. Also, before we begin, a big shout out from Quid for sponsoring this video. From thousands of stickers, collectible cards, and toys from all your favorite shows, Quid is the best app for the internet collector in all of us, or those who want to spice up their phones. From Rick and Morty to Game of Thrones, Quid offers a fun way to interact with all your friends. It's out now for both Android and Apple devices, so head on over there and download it today. Link below in the description. First question is, do you think Littlefinger knows who Jon's real parents are? This is something a lot of you have asked me, and I've got to say yes. Kinda. Littlefinger, if they're still keeping his character the same, as he was for the past 6 years, is smart enough to know exactly what happened with Ned at the Tower of Joy. I'd actually be surprised if Littlefinger didn't know, and actually, the teaser to the second episode gives it away in a sense. Lord Royce says the Targaryens can't be trusted, to which I'm sure many of the North and Vale men will agree. They all fought against the Mad King ages ago, and it's still within living memory. Then at the very end, we see Jon grabbing Littlefinger by the neck. It's very possible that Littlefinger is going to be alluding to the very real possibility that Jon is a Targaryen, and Jon will be getting sick of his shit. Peter is smart, and he can put two and two together. Stannis, maybe not as clever, certainly knew that it wasn't Ned's way to dishonor his wife with a bastard. Peter will have some inkling to Jon's parentage, or will know it flat out and will try to use it against Jon so he can manipulate him, which will prompt Sansa to want to kill him to keep quiet. Either that or Jon is choking him out because he found out Peter sent Sansa to Ramsay. Either way, I want to say he does know because he's smart, but the show has butchered his character a little, so it's kind of a toss-up. By the way, I know many of you like to ask me why Littlefinger is my favorite character, and I'll tell you now. I love the scheming, intelligent, and smart characters who know every move you'll make before you even make it. I really enjoy characters who have brains over muscle. It's more interesting watching someone take you apart without even touching you. In the books, he is very ruthless, and he's also the architect to the War of Five Kings. Without him, the story probably wouldn't be as fun. Basically, I love characters who are the epitome of the phrase, the pen is mightier than the sword. Next question is, why is everyone upset when Sansa wanted to punish the houses that betrayed the Starks and killed Rickon, but when Arya single-handedly destroys an entire house and army, people were cheering? Probably because Arya is a much more beloved character than Sansa is. Maybe because people don't see Sansa as someone who should have input over Jon. But I think the main issue is that Walder Frey is a piece of shit versus two young kids who weren't in on the decision to betray anybody. Oh, and by the way, Jon mentions that the Karstark guy died on the field of battle. Did he? I only saw small Jon Umber die when Tormund bit him. Was it in a deleted scene or something? Like, guys, get back to me on that if you can, because Season 6 was the only Blu-ray I didn't buy. But yeah, Arya has more favoritism, if you will, when it comes to her actions. I agree that we need to reward our allies, but we also need soldiers and loyalty. I feel as though sparing Ned Umber and Alicent Karstark shows that Jon is above pointless pettiness. Once again, it's a really hard choice here, and I don't know about you guys, but it felt like a video game decision, you know what I mean? Like, I play things like Mass Effect and Telltale's games, and they usually have hard choices like that for you to make that either fuck you with this group or that group. But I've got to say, I do agree with Jon's decision a little more, so, yeah. We need more bodies for that White Walker War, so, there you go. Next question is, what's up with the vision the Hound saw? Mountain shaped like an arrowhead? Well, this could mean one of three things. The first being the obvious that there are dragonglass arrowheads in the mountains on Dragonstone that can be mined, as we saw in Sam's scenes. They paused on that one page for a long time, so it would click for the audience later on. The second option is the Mountain, the Hound's brother, and his new arrowhead-shaped helmet. This could be a low key of announcing that Clegane Bowl is still on, so get fucking hyped. Or the third option is that the arrowhead-shaped mountains from Season 4 when the Night's King took Craster's baby and took him to that weird location. You could argue that the mountains in the Land of Always Winter look like arrowheads, and it's technically the Night King's territory. It certainly explains the next line in the vision, "The dead are marching past," which explains that the Night King is gathering all his forces and marching towards the wall. Keep in mind that fire visions are very metaphorical, so you can interpret them in any way, but those are my 3 best guesses. Let me know what you think. Next question is, I would like to know your thoughts on Ser Jorah. What could his potential cure bring/add to the show? To be killed saving Dany. And no, this isn't a leak, it's just me speculating. Like I said in my review, Jorah should have gone to Asshai instead of the Citadel. Not only because I want to see more places in Essos, but because most of the followers of the Lord of Light come from there. Thoros and Beric don't speak much of the religion other than it's really cool, so I would have loved to see, like, the head pope of that religion do something cool and give credence to the idea that Jorah is the legendary chosen one. The cool thing about the books is that there are so many potential chosen ones out there besides the usual boring choices of Dany and Jon. I would love it if it were Beric or someone unexpected, but whatever. Jorah still has a part to play, but I don't see him living till the final episode of Season 8. Next question is from the Reflecting God, who says, can Jon legitimize himself now? Well, he doesn't need to, but could he? Technically, yes. Being king means anything you say goes, but he doesn't need to because his people already view him as a Stark, regardless of parentage. They view him as the one who fought for the North, and as long as Ned's blood is in his veins, fuck it, king in the North he shall be. I hope he doesn't, though. Being a bastard is part of who he is, and it also sets him apart from Ramsay. Jon earned this multiple times and had to convince not just his family, but the entire region that he has what it takes. Ramsay, on the other hand, just had to convince Roose Bolton, but even then, Roose only did it as a just-in-case measure, and even that is still a little shaky considering he just gotten a new wife who could have had kids and did. Yeah, that part was a little dumb, but being a bastard is part of his identity, and I thought it was really cool how everyone basically came together and said, yeah, we don't care if you're a bastard, you're still a Stark to us. It's the ultimate rags and riches story, going from being something nobody cares about to being a king through hard work and determination. It's his story, and he did it all as a bastard, so he should sit on that picnic table throne of his as the bastard king who saved the North from tyrants and dishonorable men. Next question is, why didn't Joran just take Dragonstone? They would have had to sail right past it to get to King's Landing. The Ironborn normally take everything within sight, it's what they do. Also, could Joran be the Valonqar? I want to try and defend Joran in the show for a minute here, but maybe he knew that it's where Dany and her allies would land, so he wanted to make the alliance first and then sneak attack it later? I have no idea. Like, it's probably just bad writing, but I'm hoping that that is the reason. As for Joran being the Valonqar, the prophecy is not in the show, but personally, I'd love it if Joran ends up killing Cersei because it'd be so unexpected and would give his character a lot more of a solid stance in the show's history. Like, Walder Frey only shows up for less than 30 minutes in the entire show's history, but you know him because he had a hand in killing Robb and Catelyn. Even though the prophecy isn't in the show, I do hope that he is the little brother who ends up doing it. Plus, someone in the comment section mentioned that he kind of copied Ragnar's mannerisms from History Channel's Vikings a little bit, and I kind of agree. I thought Heath Ledger's Joker, but Ragnar is a better comparison since they're both in the business of taking and killing. Next question, does the Night King have the Horn of Winter? It looks like he is holding it during their scene. Also, do you think we'll have spiders as big as hounds when the war begins? We haven't seen them so far. No and hell no. I'm a real pussy when it comes to spiders, so I hope to God we don't see that. It'll be cool, but if we can't get CGI Ghost for one battle, then we won't be getting CGI spiders. Thank God for the shitty budget. As for the Horn of Winter, nah. For those of you who don't know, the Horn of Winter is a book-only item that allows the wall to come down when someone blows on it. I like to think that the Horn of Winter can only be used by someone with Stark blood, that it being a magic item. But that aside, no, it's not the Horn of Winter. I thought so too last season, but Game of Thrones likes to foreshadow the hell out of everything, and so far Sam hasn't read a book about it, nor have any of the wildlings mentioned it, so no, I doubt it. It'd be weird to randomly introduce it so late and not mention it or let the audience know what the fuck it does. It would be bad writing, but then again. And last question, what are some of your favorite theories that have come out of Season 7 thus far based on all the rumors and trailers? I really like the idea that the Zombie Mountain will turn on Cersei because the Night's King his power is infused within the cold, and the cold is coming down on everything, and once it touches him, then he'll be under the Night King's control and go crazy. That's a nice one. I also like the theory that the Night King is a Stark, one of the first Starks who were captured in the war with the children. What else? I also like the theory that Dany won't become queen, but she'll go off and do her own thing elsewhere. But what I really love is the whole theory that Cersei will go crazy and Jaime will be forced to kill her to save everyone in King's Landing. That one is still my all-time favorite, but let me know your favorite Season 7 theories down below. But guys, that is all for today. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed, hit that sub button if you haven't already, and consider supporting my channel on Patreon. Also, guys, don't stop. Keep sending me more questions down there because we will be covering more of them in the next episode of the Game of Thrones podcast, which is coming out soon, so don't worry. But once again, thanks so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Have a good one.